Mr. Calloway, are you sad too? The words came from somewhere below. Garrett Calloway, CEO of Meridian Holdings, looked down from the park bench to find 3 identical girls in pink coats, their breath forming tiny clouds in the December air. He hadn't expected anyone to notice him here, alone on Christmas Eve, watching families pass by with wrapped gifts and warm laughter. He'd sent his assistant home days ago. His parents were gone. His brother lived overseas. The penthouse felt emptier each year. He paused, studying their concerned faces. I suppose I am. Are you? The girl in the middle nodded slowly. Our mama cries at night. She thinks we're sleeping, but we hear her. Their names were Lily, Ruby, and Sophie, 4 years old. They explained, in that innocent, matter-of-fact way children have, that their mother worked 2 jobs, that Christmas would be small this year, that they'd made him a card because sad people need kindness too. The card showed a stick figure surrounded by colorful hearts. Garrett felt something crack inside his chest. Where is your mother now? He asked gently. Working at the bakery, Ruby said, pointing down the street. She makes bread before the sun comes up. He should have walked away. He had quarterly reports waiting, a merger to finalize. But something about their earnest faces, about that handmade card, kept him rooted to that bench. Would you girls like some hot chocolate? He heard himself ask. The bakery was called Sunrise Corner. Warm light spilled onto the snowy sidewalk. Behind the counter was a young woman with flour-dusted hands and exhausted eyes, was boxing pastries. Her name tag read Claire. When she saw her daughters walk in with a stranger in an expensive coat, her expression shifted from confusion to protective fear. Girls, what? Mama, this is Mr. Calloway. He was sad, so we gave him our card, and now he's buying us hot chocolate. Claire's eyes met Garrett's, wary, tired, but also kind. I'm sorry if they bothered you, she said quickly. They were supposed to be at my neighbor's. They didn't bother me, Garrett interrupted gently. They, actually, might have saved my evening. Something in his voice made her pause. She saw past the expensive clothes to the loneliness underneath. One moment, she told the customer waiting, then turned back to him. Did they really give you a card? He showed her. Her expression softened completely. They've been making kindness cards all month, leaving them for mail carriers, bus drivers, anyone who looks like they need a little light. You taught them that, Garrett said quietly. Claire's eyes glistened. I'm trying to teach them that when you don't have much, you give what you can. Over the next hour, Garrett learned their story. Claire's husband, the girl's father, had died 2 years ago from an illness. No life insurance, mountains of medical debt. She'd been working herself to exhaustion ever since, trying to give her daughters some semblance of stability. I kept his name, she said softly, watching the girls draw with crayons Garrett had bought from the corner store. Winters. Claire Winters, so the girls would always carry a piece of him. Garrett found himself sharing too, about his own losses, his parents' car accident 5 years ago, how work had become his refuge and his prison, how he'd forgotten what it felt like to connect with another human being who wasn't asking for something. You know what's strange? Claire said, her voice barely above a whisper. I've been so focused on surviving, I forgot how to just sit with someone. Thank you for reminding me. When closing time came, Garrett made a decision that surprised even himself. I'd like to help, Not as charity, as connection. Your girls reminded me why kindness matters. Let me do something meaningful with resources I've been hoarding." Claire stiffened. "I don't need—" "I know," he said gently, "but maybe I do. Maybe I need to remember what it feels like to give without expectation, to be part of something real." She studied his face for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. Over the following months, Garrett became an unexpected presence in their lives, not as a savior, but as a friend. He helped Claire refinance her debt through his financial contacts, not paying it off entirely, but making it manageable. He connected her with better job opportunities that didn't require double shifts. But more than money, he gave time. He showed up to the girls' preschool play. He taught them to ice skate at the public rink. He listened when Claire talked about her late husband, never trying to replace him, just honoring his memory. And slowly, Garrett felt himself becoming human again. His assistant noticed the change one day. "You're smiling more," she observed. "I found something worth smiling about," he replied. By the next Christmas, Garrett's penthouse wasn't empty. His brother had flown in from London. His assistant and her family joined for dinner. And at the center of it all were Claire and her girls, now 5 years old, still making kindness cards for strangers. As they gathered around the table, Lily tugged Garrett's sleeve. "Mr. Calloway, are you still sad?" He knelt down, eye level with all 3 girls, his vision blurring slightly. "No, sweetheart. Because of you 3, I learned something important. Kindness isn't just about giving. It's about letting yourself receive, about opening your heart even when it's cold for so long. You gave me the greatest gift. You reminded me how to be human again." Ruby hugged him tight. "We're glad you're not sad anymore." Claire approached, her eyes warm. "They changed your life, didn't they?" "They saved it," Garrett whispered. "All of you did." As the evening wound down and snow began to fall outside, Garrett stood by the window, watching the city lights twinkle like the hearts on that card from a year ago. Claire joined him, 2 mugs of coffee in hand. "Thank you," she said softly, "for seeing us, for not just writing a check and walking away, for becoming family." "Thank you," he replied, "for trusting a lonely stranger on a bench." They stood in comfortable silence, the sound of children's laughter filling the spaces between words. Later, as everyone prepared to leave, Sophie handed Garrett a new card. This one showed 2 stick figures, one tall, one small, holding hands under a star. "You're not alone anymore, Mr. Calloway," she whispered. "Kindness means nobody has to be alone." Garrett felt tears slip down his cheeks as he pulled all 3 girls into a gentle hug. Claire joined them, and for the first time in years, Garrett understood what home actually meant. It wasn't a place, it wasn't money or success. It was this: being seen, being known, and choosing connection over isolation. As the Winters family headed to the elevator, Ruby called back, "See you tomorrow, Mr. Calloway. We're making cookies." "I'll be there," he promised, and he meant it. After they left, Garrett placed the new card beside the old one on his mantel. 2 cards, 2 Christmases, 1 profound truth. The smallest act of kindness can illuminate the darkest heart if we're brave enough to receive it.